What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Pitching Ninja's filthiest pitches of the day. I am Pitching Ninja, and I'm here with a very froggy Will Leahey. What's up,
That's
Will?
right. Good morning, Ninja. So watching the White Sox at Mariners yesterday, just a hell of a game. Going into the eighth inning, Mariners are down 4-0. They bring it all the way back, and Luke Raley comes up. The ball's on this guy, Ninja. Down one, bottom eight. Runners on first and third, 2 outs, lays down just the absolute perfect bunt. Tied up, Ninja. And then this is followed up in the ninth inning by our dong of the day. It's a little early dong of the day here, but anytime you have a WOGS, walk-off grand slam, you're going to get featured. Although in the hierarchy of WOGS, this is kind of a cheapie, considering it was a tie game at the time. I mentioned this being a cheapie. It got me going down a rabbit hole. According to AI, ChatGPT, there's approximately 280 walk-off grand slams in the history of MLB. But Ninja, there's been 32 quote-unquote ultimate grand slams, and that's when you're down 3 and you hit the 4-run ding-dong. So there's a little trivia here.
Shit up. I don't believe anything ChatGPT says. Did you know that this was the first game-tying or go-ahead RBI on a bunt from a Seattle Mariners player in the eighth inning or later since Mark McLemore did it in, I think it's 2002. And coincidentally, Seattle took those White Sox to the thrift shop. 8-4. Great Seattle reference. What? Logan Gilbert had 8 Ks in 6 innings, giving up 3 runs. He had these fastballs and sliders. And take a look at this slider. This thing had 0 inches of break. And this is what we talk about when we talk about gyro sliders. Think of a bullet type spin. On average, Gilbert only has 17 inches of active spin on his slider, which means kind of it can go either way by a little bit because it's such a finely tuned bullet that if the nose of it points either way, it can go either way. This is different from a sweeper, and this is why we have that categorization. The slider now is more of a bullet thing that goes more straight down or a little bit of horizontal. Logan Gilbert also had these cutters, his curveballs, but to me, the pitch of the game and one of the pitches of the season is Logan Gilbert's splitter. I think we're going to call it's either called the Albatross or the Trident. I'm cool with either one of those names. But if you look at this pitch, of all the pitches of 82 miles an hour or higher and 650 RPMs or lower, Logan Gilbert has the second most of these pitches since StatCast has been doing their thing in 2008. Gilbert's only been throwing this splitter since last year. It's really more like a forkball. This one only had 574 RPMs. Here's an overlay of his cutter and splitter, and you can see why this splitter is so filthy. This thing tracks like that cutter and then absolutely totally disappears as you're ready to swing. It is a very unique pitch, and I think more people need to pay attention to it because Logan Gilbert's a little bit of a magician here. He's got these monster giant hands and is able to just take all the spin off the baseball. Opponents are only hitting 100 against his splitter this year with a 45.3% whiff rate. And I'll throw in Logan Gilbert's splitter grip right here for you.
The splitter I was right here last year, similar to Singa's Ghost Fork.
Yep.
Right now, I don't know if it's going to stick, but I threw up the ring finger and curled the index a little more. The point of a splitter is just to throw it like a fastball.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to do something with my grip that allows me to not try to do something at release, but just throw it like a fastball. And this got me to that point because it gets the index off the ball. For whatever reason, the ring finger gives me a little more stability in my hand, and I really now just throw it. The action's been pretty good so far, so we'll see if it sticks.
You know what they say about guys with big hands, Ninja?
Low spin rate splitters.
That's absolutely right. Proving the old adage.
He faced Eric Fetty, yeah, baby, who had 4 Ks in 7 innings, giving up 1 run. He had this cutter, this changeup, and this chalked inside 2-seamer. Crawford totally wanted the home plate umpire to press rewind to see that pitch one more time. Elsewhere in our whip around the league, Corbin Burns had 6 Ks in 7 innings, giving up no earned runs and 5 hits. And I still don't think Corbin Burns is pitching anything like Corbin Burns usually pitches, but his ERA is 2.08 this year. Like, do you think that, Will? Like, do you feel like he's somehow underachieving even though his ERA is 2.08?
Yes, I know exactly what you mean. I mean, he's had a couple of his lowest K games of his career recently. He hasn't had his classic Corbin Burns 11K games in a while, and I think they're on the horizon.
That's kind of what I feel. And that makes it even more impressive and shows you the standard that Corbin Burnes sets for pitching. So good. He helped the Orioles whistle by the Rays 5-2. He had these cutters, picked up a sword on it, had this inadvertent painted cutter, this chalk slider. He also had this curveball for a sword, and he faced Ryan Pepio, who went 6 innings with 9 Ks,
Nice.
giving up a not so nice 4 runs, but he pitched pretty well. He had these elevated fastballs, these wicked changeups. He has the 4th highest spin rate of any changeup in baseball. Look at these things. Really puts a ton of spin on it with that release. Also, we got to shout out the Rays ball boys. I mean, another freaking stellar grab. Look at the hops on this dude. Chris Paddack had 6 Ks and 6 1/3 scoreless innings as Leatherface sawed through the Rockies' bats and won 5-0. He had these heaters up to 98 miles an hour, these curveballs, and picked up a sword. Here's an overlay of his fastball and curveball. See how well these things track? You think you're swinging at a fastball, and you're totally hosed. He faced Dakota Hudson, who only had 1 K in 6 2/3 innings, giving up 1 earned run. Dakota is not fanning a lot of hitters this year. It's the lowest K per 9 in Major League Baseball, but he did have this nasty curveball. Carlos Rodon had 3 Ks in 7 innings, giving up 1 run, and had these overpowering fastballs. Not a lot of Ks from Rodon, but it got the job done. And check this at bat out. This is absolute freaking torture. This is totally against the Geneva Convention. Look what he does to Renfroe's toe here. Not 1, not 2, but almost 3 balls that were hit off Renfroe's toe. He did it twice, almost did it a 3rd time. And then Renfroe totally gives up, says, you know what? I'm done with this at bat. I'm done with this game. Takes this 98 mile an hour heater right down the middle. And it ends up Renfroe had a broken toe. Like, hitting with a broken toe is as metal as it gets. Like, that's badass. Tip of the cap to Hunter Renfroe. Rodon also broke the Royals' hopes this game as the Yankees won 4-2. He faced Seth Lugo, who had 4 strikeouts in 7 innings, giving up 4 runs, and had these curveballs and slurves, about 3,300 or so RPMs. Colin Ray had 4 Ks in 7 innings, giving up 1 run. He had this painted fastball, this splitter, and sweeper. And he was a ray of sunshine, leading the Brewers over the Jays 3-1. Faced Jose Barrios, who had 4 Ks in 5 2/3 innings, giving up 3 runs, and had this slurve and nasty changeups. Dylan Cease had 8 Ks in 6 innings, gave up 1 run, but the A's ceased to score any more runs as the Padres beat the A's 6-1. Cease had this elevated 98 mile an hour fastball, and these sliders picked up a sword. He faced Joey Estes, who had 3 Ks in 5 innings, giving up 3 runs, and had these sweepers. Kyle Harrison had 3 Ks in 6 1/3 innings, giving up 1 run, had this breaking ball. Wasn't overly dominant, but Houston had a problem handling Harrison and lost 4-3. He faced Spencer Arrighetti, who had 6 Ks in 5 2/3 innings, giving up 1 run. Spaghetti had these cutters and breaking balls. Now onto my filthiest relievers. Yunier Cano had these Ks on his fastballs, and notice here he does not stare Yandy Diaz down with his classic stare after he gets a K. He does this all the time, doesn't do it to Yandy Diaz. I wonder why. Could it be because Yandy Diaz is maybe the most jacked player in the major leagues? Ian Hamilton had this Slambio. Kevin Kelly had these wicked sweepers. Craig Kimbrell had this paintish knuckle curve and this fastball at the knees. Zach Pop had this wicked slider. Ryan Stanek had 3 Ks with his fastballs and splitter. And Michael Tonkin had this nasty slider. My top 5 filthiest pitches of the day yesterday. At number 5, we're going to go with Chris Paddack and that overlay of his fastball and curveball. At number 4, Camilo Doval and these wicked sliders. And here's the home plate view of his slider. This thing is unfair, especially because Doval also throws over 100 miles an hour on his heater. At number 3, we have Robert Suarez and these wicked changeups and 101 mile an hour heater. Here's an overlay of his 101 mile an hour fastball and this changeup, and you can see why you would be early on that changeup too. At number 2, Griffin Jax and this 93-mile-an-hour devastating changeup. And at number 1, Logan Gilbert and his freakish splitter, the Trident, the Albatross, whatever we're calling it, absolutely filthy. And now, my pitching ninja moment of zen. I didn't even know you can get a blue screen of death on the scoreboard. My picks of the day today are a 3-leg parlay. I'm going to take Drew Thorpe for 5Ks or more, then take Tyler McGill for 5Ks or more, top it off with Paul Skeens for 7Ks or more. Then, you know what, for some fun, let's take Paul Skeens to go 3 up and 3 down in the first inning, and also to have his first pitch between 100.1 and 101 miles an hour. What would your picks of the day be?